webinar. We did the one in September last year, and this is our second one. So I'm very excited to have you here. So a warm welcome to you all. It's just a brief rundown of the program today. So we have Nokuthula Shange. So most of you know Nokuthula Shange. She's very, very involved in both youth and women empowerment. She's also still a student, a final year student at Nelson Mandela University. She's doing Bachelor in Business, so the Bachelor of Commerce. And she's also the National President of African Youth for Sustainable Development. So she'll be assisting in terms of moderating this session. And then we will have myself presenting after her introduction. And then after that, we'll have Samuel, who is the Director for African Youth for Sustainable Development. And he's also responsible for running Jobland Enterprise. And his topic is going to be more focusing on business development strategies, but the main focus is going to be on entrepreneurship. So I would also like, just as a disclaimer, to ask all our participants, both on the chat here on Zoom and on YouTube, please post your questions, your comments, we'll attend to them. We have a 30 minutes interactive session where we will allow you to ask your questions. So a warm welcome to all of you. Please help me to welcome Nokuthula Shange. Nokuthula, over to you.
Thank you so much, Oliver, for a warm greeting. I greet everyone connecting from different parts of the world. As Oliver already introduced me, my name is Nokuthula Shange, and I'm very excited to run this amazing topic today. You know, I know here we are full of well striving young people. You know, we are full of educated young men, you know, very focused and very ready, you know, to go out there and make a difference. You know, I know that almost every part of Africa, we are facing unemployment. You know, youth unemployment is high, you know, but of course we have like a couple of solutions for you today, you know, and one of them is entrepreneurship, you know, and we'll be exploring that topic, you know, with our well respected guests all over the world. Just a short brief on who is Oliver is. You know, I'm sure most people that are here know Oliver. If you don't know Oliver, I don't know, but you will know him soon. Oliver is the CEO of AIEC, which is African Entrepreneurship Center. You know, he's an author, a global speaker, a managing partner, a farmer, writer, and business strategic aspect, you know. So Oliver, back to you. Let's just start this tonight. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Nokuthula, and thank you for always availing yourself and for the work you are doing, not just in South Africa, but across the continent. So I'm so excited today to have you and for everybody that has joined. I normally just start straight away to my presentation, but before I go to what I have for you, I'm just going to do a quick rundown brief for most of you that are not members of Africa Women in Trade yet, or who doesn't know much about what Africa Women in Trade is doing in supporting African women and youth in terms of trade opportunities and capacity building and all those support structures or systems or resources available. So I will do a quick rundown about Africa Women in Trade, and I'll also do a quick rundown about the upcoming conference. So our first inaugural conference will be here in South Africa in October. So I will do a short rundown on that, and then I'll do my presentation. Then towards the end of today's webinar, we'll then allow people to ask more questions, how to register if you want to exhibit or you want to be more involved as a partner or media. So all that information will be shared with you towards to the end. So just a sec as I'm sharing my screen. Just gonna open my screen. Okay. I hope, can you all see my screen? Noctula, can you see my screen?
Yes, Oliver, I can see your screen.
Okay, great. So Africa Women in Trade, Africa Women in Trade is an organization that was established about a year ago. This is the second year, and it was established by Joy. Joy is originally from Kenya, but she is currently based in Germany. And she's also not just the founder and CEO of Africa Women in Trade, but she's also the founder of Africa Women in Europe. They do quite a lot of empowering of women and youth across the continent as well as in the diaspora. Our vision and mission as Africa Women in Trade, so our vision is to create a platform to connect and enable African women and youth to trade under the new AFCFTA agreement. And in this case, we help women and youth with resources, but also with information on how to trade. And also with the goal of building the intra-Africa trade, how among ourselves as Africans, we can be able to trade among ourselves. When I was born, my mother used to sell in the market. So she used to sell different kind of vegetables, and we used to help her selling those vegetables. But now, because of social media and because of the different groups, such as Africa Women in Trade, we are now able to sell beyond our local community, beyond our local region or our local country. We can now be able to sell across Africa, but also we can be able to sell beyond in the international market as well. So this is some of the support that Africa Women in Trade can be able to help her with. Our vision is to create a network where African women and youth can access information regarding Africa Continental Free Trade Area, provide market access nationally. So we look at your country regionally, as well as on the global level, and offer capacity building and financial access through grants and investments. So before I go to the pillars, maybe you are not a member of Africa Women in Trade yet. So we're going to put the links on the chat, and please do so as soon as possible so that you can be able to capitalize or access the support that is available. So we got 4 pillars, and our first pillar, as I say, is AFCFTA information. So share useful information on our networking platforms, social networks such as Facebook. We have a YouTube. This event is also streamed on YouTube. We got a LinkedIn, and we also got different WhatsApp groups. I think each country have got a WhatsApp group, as well as once you register, we also have a main group that we have as well for Africa Women in Trade. Organizing monthly webinars that informs an open solution-oriented dialogue and engage on policymakers. So we will have a monthly webinar as well. This one is the youth webinar, but we have a monthly webinar. And I think this month is Cameroon. It's coming up on Saturday. And I'll love all of you to register. I'll be posting more information on the chat as well. And then create multi-sector and multi-stakeholder database. So we also not just partner with investors, but we also partner with buyers. We partner with different stakeholders. Now we are engaging the Africa-Africa Continental Agreement Secretariat, the African Union, banks, so different partners we are partnering with as different stakeholders that can help us to achieve this goal of building the intra-Africa trade, but also to empower the women and youth in Africa. And then on pillar number 2, we look at market access. So we provide a trading platform for members to trade nationally, regionally, and across the globe. We have different success stories. We have a lady, the coffee from Kenya. We have the master tea from Nigeria, and we have other success stories, the mushroom lady. These are some of the success stories of the women that have been empowered to be able to trade, not just on a national level, but also across the continent, as well as in Europe. The master tea is now being sold in the UK, shops, as well as in Germany, but also here in South Africa. If you are in Cape Town, you can get some from me. Sorry, somebody please mute yourself. And then also, just a sec. And then we also partner with external e-commerce platforms for members to showcase their products. Last week, we did launch with the Farmers app in Kenya, and the Farmers app will be able to help a lot of women and youth to trade across the continent. I think at the moment it's still working in Kenya, so I'll find out more information in the week or two, that if we can be able to allow other members to be able to access that. But I think you have to be first of all to sign up as an African Women in Trade member. We also host virtual exhibition, e-market webinars, and conferences. This year, we said last year we were doing a lot of these virtual conferences, but this year we are going to be focusing also, we are going to do our first inaugural trade expo in South Africa, right here in Cape Town, just behind me. And because we have been doing this virtually, but now we want to meet, build those valuable networks, knowledge-based information sharing, but also be able to get to know each other and build those collaborations. So on pillar number 4, we look at grants and investments. So we're at the moment engaging different financiers, whether it's loan funding, grant funding, or even equity funding, so that we can be able to support youth and women businesses across Africa. And we're also partnering with African in diaspora to invest in African youth and women in business. So that's why Joy is also representing African women in Europe. And with that support, and also the knowledge, the experience they have, and the networks they have, that can be able to come and help and mentor youth as well as women in Africa. So this is our story. We are a social enterprise created for the need to support African women in Europe, to support African women and youth, small businesses to inform, create market access, link them to investors and funders, share skills and knowledge for sustainable partnership following the AfCFTA agreement. I think I mentioned this in my previous conversation. This is just a quick rundown on the conference. And the conference will be hosted in the heart of Cape Town. It's going to be at the City Hall in Cape Town, just very close to Table Mountain. So this is the venue of the conference. We'll be sharing more information for you to register today if you are not registered yet for the upcoming conference. And this conference objectives is to provide a networking opportunities among traders, and also to facilitate market access opportunities in South Africa, the continental and the global markets. Also to enable strong value chains for proudly made in Africa products, creating a conducive environment, exchanging of ideas, sharing of knowledge, and implementing the best practice. So there will be a lot of activities during this conference. We'll be doing workshops, we'll be having deal rooms, and we'll also be having people from different government portfolios, as well as regional bodies, such as the United Nations, so that they can be able to engage us on policy. So at the end of today's webinar, we'll be able to allow you to ask questions about the conference if you have more questions about the conference. We are also looking at maybe hosting about maximum 300 women and youth at this conference. So if you have not registered, I will encourage you to register today, as well as if you like to exhibit. We have limited space for exhibition, 50 to 80. So please register today. The links will be posted on the chat box. So we have different presentations from different guest speakers. We also have workshops and master classes at the conference. We will at this conference also acknowledge women and youth. So we have our first award, a gala dinner. Hopefully it will be hosted at a different venue, which will probably is going to be Hotel Sky, just right opposite the convention center. And this is where we will be acknowledging women and handing off awards. So more information in this regard will be shared with you as well. soon. There will also be other activities for those that want to stay longer in Cape Town. So the conference and the trade expo will be 3 days, but we will also, during the conference, have optimized investment meetings where we do matchmaking. And we will also be doing wine tours in Stellenbosch. For those that doesn't know Cape Town, or you know Cape Town, you are the lovers of wine and nature. So we'll be visiting farms and we'll be learning more about agri-ecotourism as well. We will also be doing Cape Peninsula Tour. For those who doesn't know, so Cape Peninsula Tour covers the Simonstown where the African penguins are. The African penguins are only found in 2 countries, which is South Africa and Namibia. But we also cover the southern tip of Africa where the 2 oceans meet, which is the Cape Point. And then we'll also drive around Northwood. We have Cape Point Vineyards. We will do Hot Bay, and then we'll come back to Cape Town between Table Mountain and Lion's Head. We'll also do Table Mountain tours, and we'll also do for the smaller groups. We'll also do. Hopefully, we'll be able to do Robben Island. If not, we'll do the ferry at Waterfront. So these are some of the activities that we're going to be focusing on as well during the Trade Expo. These are just the highlights of the sectors. As you can see, we have technology, we have agriculture, manufacturing, with so many industries here. We also have creative industry as part of the sectors that we are going to be focusing on during this conference. These are some of the countries that are going to be participating in the conference. The whole idea is to market this conference across the entire African continent, but also beyond the continent, so that we can be able to trade among each other. Partnership and benefits, we'll speak about this later. I'm just going to run down. So this is the team, our CEO, Joy. Thank you, Joy. This is Joy at my right-hand side here. She's the CEO and the founder of Africa Women in Trade. Here is myself. I'm responsible for the youth. I will be older next year, so I think Notula will take over after me after that. We have Her Royal Highness Princess. She's our representative in South Africa. We'll be helping Princess as well to organize the South Africa webinar, which will be coming next month. I think we already have the dates for that. We'll share with you. We have our representative in Kenya. As you can see, Annie is here. We have our representative in Cameroon, Fefe. We call her the Mushroom Lady. And we also have our representative here also in Rwanda. So all this, our representative in different countries. We've got Nigeria, Mother Elsie. We've got Cameroon, we've got Zambia. So all this, we've got Mozambique as well. So this is our representative in each country of Africa Women in Trade. So if you're not part of Africa Women in Trade, any of the groups, please join the group in your country. And you can always reach out to us for more information. Okay, thank you. This is our contact details, and these contact details will also be posted or shared on different groups, but also on YouTube, as well as here on the chat box. So thank you so much for listening. So I will ask if we have Botswana yet. Joy, if we have Botswana yet, and Tanzania, if not yet, please post the information on the group. So before I round up, I just wanted to give that first of all highlight of the Africa Women in Trade, what we do, so that you can be able to capitalize and tap into some of the resources of what we have. So today it's a youth event, so I like to be more energetic and more happier, because I'm happy when I see youth that are taking action, not just by blaming others, by taking action, by being responsible citizens and of their countries, and being involved in building the hashtag Africa that we want. So today I decided to talk a little bit about something that is more inspiring. How do we inspire or challenge the youth to become the agents of change? So for me, when I started about 9 or 10 years ago, I started in the community. So I was not just inspired by my mom, but I was also inspired by being a young person you grow up in a community where there's teenager pregnancy, where there's drugs, where there's different one social challenge to another. And we also listen to our African government talking about, oh, we need to create jobs. But there's no empowerment among the youth. So that's what drives me to do what I do every day. I wanted to make a difference. I wanted to live a life of value. That's why I even wrote a book called African Hidden Potential. How do we as young people get involved and unlock that hidden potential that we have? We are the future of tomorrow. Yesterday, we celebrated Freedom Day in South Africa. We have leaders such as Nelson Mandela, but now we are enjoying this freedom because they sacrificed for the future of South Africa and the world. So we as young people have to sacrifice as well. So today I want to inspire you. I want to give you some words of inspiration today based on my experience. So the first one is learn the 3 Ps. So I want you to listen careful. So learn the 3 Ps as an entrepreneur or as a young person in order for you to gain success in business. So the first P is that you need to be practical. So think yourself as the business. Before the business comes the professional. So the first P is professional. So think yourself as a business, but before the business comes the professional. Number 2 is one must be patient. One must be patient. Great success comes with passion. So comes with passion, comes with passion, comes with the drive, comes with sacrifices. So the second P that I would like you to learn today is that one must be patient. The business will come. Sometimes there's no need to do surveys. Like I was so surprised and I was also amazed that during the lockdown since 2020 to now, that we never realized that cleaning jobs, cleaning companies, they're essential workers. So nobody wants to clean anymore. So that's why there's so many opportunities, even in starting a cleaning company, because nobody wants to clean anymore. So sometimes there's no need for surveys. You just have to start. You just have to start from somewhere. The third P that I'd like you to learn today from this session is be persistent. You and your business are not a tree. You must keep on moving. You can't be stagnant. So when I was young, not young as such, but I was in the 20s, we used to do this, we call it Kairos Prison Ministry. So we go and preach and do different activities and sport in prisons. And I used to teach these guys, there's a word I like, endurance. And I say, what is endurance? So endurance for me is you push and you resist. So push and resist, you rather do one step, you push, you stop there, you resist, you do another step. So endurance is not doing 20 steps or 2 steps and do 30 backwards. No, you do 1 step, you endure, you do the next step. So in that sense, you are moving forward. So for me, that's endurance, that's being patient. The third P, be persistent. You and your business are not a tree, so you need to keep on moving. You need to keep on doing those steps. You need to keep on endure. That's very, very important. And we as entrepreneurs, sometimes there's no money, sometimes there's no motivation, but what actually keeps us alive or sane is the passion, is the purpose, knowing that if I stop now, those people are not going to be redeemed, are not going to have that freedom. I'm not going to realize my goals. I'm not going to realize my vision. I'm not going to help people. I'm not going to make a difference. So if you are like me who want to make a difference, I think this is an opportunity for you to keep on endure and to keep on that you are moving forward. The other thing that as an entrepreneur, as a young entrepreneur, one must make sure that you keep proper administration of your business in order to be successful. You need to separate, first of all, you need to separate your business with your personal, and you need to keep proper administration. So you can't use your business bank account at a restaurant where you are having a party. So you need to separate that and keep keep proper administration by, whatever you spend, keep record. Whatever you do, keep record of what you're doing. It's very, very important. Cash flow is the king. Cash flow is the king. Remember this. Do not mix your profit with your business. So I ask many people, sometimes I just do random, I go to different entrepreneurs or to markets, I just do random questions. And I ask, how much money are you making today? Or how much did you make today? They say, no, I made 5,000 rands. And I said, 5,000 rands, wow. How much of the 5,000 rands is actual profit? Because you still need to take out the production costs. Maybe you use Uber or use transport. Maybe you buy products or you manufacture products. So which means those are the production costs. So how much are you actually making after you've taken out your expenses? If you work with another person or other people, you pay them. So after you pay them, you need to actually know that how much you're actually making. So cash flow is the king, and do not mix it with your profit. With your business. It is important to have capital when starting a business. Sometimes an entrepreneur is challenging without capital, but it's very important. If you have a capital, you are even at a better position because it helps you to leverage. Especially when you're in a business that involves a lot of stakeholders or different partners. One of the other things is a sad story, and I'm happy that we have. When I started 9 years ago, I didn't have that support, and now today I'm happy that we have African women in trade that can be able to help us and support us. But I have this in board that nobody will ever help you in your ventures. So most people normally talk about wanting to help or helping, but they don't actually help you in your venture. So when I was young, my mother, every time I go try to play soccer with the grown-up guys, our big boys, big brothers, they always chase me away. And I went back to my mother. I said to my mother, I said, why are they chasing me away? I want to learn how to play soccer. And my mother told me that, don't worry, I have a solution for that. So she went to buy 2 balls for me. And so whenever I go to these guys with the balls, they always allow me. And I realized later when I grow older that they allow me to play with them now because I was bringing value. So before you can bring value, nobody helps you in your venture and nobody wants to do a business with you. That's why it's very important to be involved in different platforms. Even doing some voluntary work. Noctula did a lot of voluntary work in a lot of organizations I know. Even now she's still doing. And this helps you to gain more knowledge and experience, but also more opportunities. But that's how you're going to network with the right people and learn and gain more knowledge that you can be able to use in a leadership position or in business. So for me, that's very important because when you actually start, nobody will ever help you if you can't bring value to an organization. In South Africa, unfortunately, in South Africa, where I am, we don't have a good record when supporting businesses. Of course, we have a lot of organizations. We have small enterprise development agents, we have youth development agents, we have the Department of Trade and Industry, and they do a lot of talk around supporting small business, but they do not actually help us in reality. So what can we do as young people? So the solution, not just for South Africa, but for the entire continent, we have to redeem ourselves as young people. So what we have to do, we have to liberate ourselves by becoming active citizens instead of just blaming the government. So we need to become active citizens. A few years ago, I was part of this with the current president, a couple of the former premier of the Western Cape, King Buthelezi the Prince Buthelezi of Durban. We're involved, even Trevor Manuel, former finance minister, we're part of this organization called Active Citizens. And this Citizens SA, whereby we encourage people to become active citizens. So instead of just blaming the government or blaming other people, we start by taking action as young people to liberate ourselves. So this is what I have today. I hope you are writing a lot of questions on the chat because I'll be able to answer them at the end of the webinar. The last point I would like to make in today's session is that never spend what you as an entrepreneur don't have. Make sure you have smart goals in place. I always encourage my team, even people that I help in business, to write things down. That's the first step to take action as an entrepreneur. Don't waste your business money on things we do not need. Sometimes we just buy things to please other people. My friend, I think he's here in the session, he's gonna laugh at me. He posted something on WhatsApp yesterday. He said, they said something about, it's like a cartoon whereby people in suits, they look, sometimes you're wearing suits, but they look rich. But until you realize that they have to look for a job to people that are always in pajamas. So there is some truth in it. Don't spend money unnecessarily on things that you do not need. Plus, make sure you have a budget for the business in place, as well as your personal financial budget for your personal spending. If you run a business, pay yourself a small salary so that you can be able to run the business. The last point, when you have a budget, you will know what your income is. Always know your fixed expenses are and what variable expenses are. Always make sure that you are able to plan plus budget in order to go forward. By knowing this, you understand your life stage and to try to have investments in place. I know we as Africans, we don't believe in funeral policies, but try to have other investments. Maybe have, like myself, I invest in properties, but you don't have to invest in properties, you can invest in other diversifying your funds as well. So thank you so much for listening. This is what I had for you today. I know that you are welcome to post questions in the chat box. And after Samuel has done his presentation, we'll be able to answer most of your questions. Thank you so much for listening. Over to you, Noktula.
Thank you so much, Oliver, for powerful presentation. I have a lot of questions, but I believe the best time for those questions will come after Samuel Apete. The issue of entrepreneurship. I think when you mention entrepreneurship, let me just touch a bit on it before I give Samuel Apete an opportunity. I think we need to talk about how do we support young people. We need to talk about whether the economy, the current state of the economy of the country, does it support the drive for entrepreneurship? When we promote entrepreneurship, is it a matter of a country failing to provide jobs, or is a term that we really use that we think will really boost our economy state? I mean, for so long here in South Africa, of course, we touch on a topic, we talk about the township economy, but you ask yourself, is there ever a township economy? I mean, the whole of South Africa is run by big monopolies. They are at large at township areas, and again, another thing that comes into my mind right now, it's funny, a lot of young people, when you talk about selling, and talk about entrepreneurship, it's all about them, trying importing things from outside of South Africa. They buy from Shein and then they sell those clothes among themselves, and then they call that entrepreneurship. I mean, how can we go so far and talk about entrepreneurship without touching on manufacturing? Without touching, okay, as South Africans, as young people, let us create something of our own. But before we promote that, is a country designed to support those young people? But those are the things that we need to.
Do you like me to answer that, Tila? Okay, so the very first one, I'll start with the first question.
Thank you, Oliver.
So whether the government support or the government, so the government, I'm an economist by profession, the government cannot create jobs. So it is entrepreneurs or businesses that cannot create jobs. So I teach, sometimes I do teach for Strategic Business School part-time, just on doing business in Africa. So now, but we can't separate the government and business. So the government and business, we are interrelated, because in terms of, if you look at the government in terms of policy formulation, so the government, they are the ones that are involved in policy formulation. That's why we have to engage the government. We have to influence policy. We as young people or business people, we have to engage the government. We can't work without them because we need each other. That's the sad part of it, but it is entrepreneurs that create jobs. Then also the real entrepreneurship. I hope there are people that love wine here. My favorite wine cultivar is Pinotage. Now, Pinotage is a wine cultivar that you have to stress. In other words, you give it less water, it needs more sun, it's pressed. So in order to get the actual, I think the best wine, it comes from the Canon Corp wine, it's at Jens Stellenbosch. And so as an entrepreneur, actually, we are the one that comes up with solutions. So we have to find ways, how do we come up with solutions? There is, in my presentation on doing business in Africa, there's a lady, I think it's from Cameroon, who came up with a water solution. And then she ended up being funded by an NGO, but later on, where she could help about 200 families with the water solution. So we entrepreneurs, we are problem solvers. We actually solve our problem. That's why we have to be the one in the forefront by liberating ourselves and get involved. When they say there's a government meeting on policy or whatever meeting it is, we need to be there. We need to be the voice for the voiceless. And then the last one you were talking about, just importing. So we don't, when we look at trade, we don't look at just importing, because I mean, South Africa doesn't even have, unfortunately, it's sad to say, I was with my colleague the other day. I said, I'm giving you this, but it's not from South Africa because it's better quality. Because South Africa, we are having clothes from China. Most of our fabrics from China. We don't do manufacturing anymore, which is a very important thing. But South Africa cannot do that alone or without other parties. So in trade, we do what is called quid pro quo. So quid pro quo is not just in politics, but it's also whereby, let's say, for example, we do business with Zambia. So in Zambia, we buy soya beans, we buy corn in Zambia. But Zambians, and we buy their honey, they've got very good honey, but they also buy South African wine, they buy South African fruits such as grapes and apples. So we need to find ways that will be beneficial to Africa. That if we getting tea from Nigeria, what can Nigeria get from South Africa? We do have wine, but who is running the wine farms? We are not running the wine farms as Black people, but of course we can engage in the farming. We've got Women in Wine, which is a first wine, Black wine a business in South Africa that was supported by President Thabo Mbeki and Mandela. So we as young people, we need to come together. We need to get involved. We need to share knowledge, and we need to also influence policy and help each other with knowledge and to promote trade among Africa. Thank you. I don't want to waste much more time.
Thank you so much, Oliver.
So the real entrepreneurship, definition of entrepreneurship is transforming ideas into bankable equity. It's not a wish list, it's transforming those ideas we have into bankable equity. Thank you.
Okay, so thank you so much, Oliver. Thank you so much for a great insights. Without any further ado, let me introduce our speaker for today. You know, a young dynamic, a game changer, you know, our future Ghana minister. I always call someone like a future Ghana minister, you know, because you look at the way the young man is so determined, you know, to drive changes, you know, at Ghana. So I am very 100% positive that one day Samuel will take over. Samuel, to those who don't know, he is leading the youth for South African, my apologies. He is a director for African Youth for Sustainable Development, you know, which is an organization that is Spain, at Ghana, but also now available at South Africa with a bigger goal of, influencing all African countries. Samuel, over to you.
Thank you very much.
Samuel, I'll pull up your screen, your presentation in the meantime.
That'll be great. Yes, I thank you for the time, and I welcome everyone to this wonderful session. And I wouldn't waste much time on my presentation because my first presenter did most part of my work, which I will just move into some of the strategies and some of the focus to be a successful entrepreneur. Yes, so my name is Samuel Apeti, and I'm from Ghana. I am the Director for African Youth for Sustainable Development and the CEO for Jabulani Vision Enterprise. And my presentation today will be on business development strategies focusing on entrepreneurship. So you look at some of the discussion outlines. You are going to look at who is an entrepreneur, which I think that my first presenter work on that. So you will talk about the steps towards starting and expanding a business, then areas to invest as an entrepreneur. And then I'll give the summary. So first thing I'll talk about is entrepreneur. When we are talking about entrepreneur, who's an entrepreneur? The next slide, please. So when we are talking about entrepreneurs, we are talking about those who take risk takers. As an entrepreneur, you have to be ready for risk because it's something that you are going into that you don't have any idea, you don't know what is going on. Even though you have a lot of information about it, people talking about it, oh, I want, if I have this product in my community, I would love to purchase. If I have this now, I would love to purchase. It's still a risk that you are going to take because at the end of the day, how best are you going to satisfy the person? Then you have to also be ready to make mistakes because it's product that you are bringing on board that the people might like it. Some people might dislike it. So as an entrepreneur, you don't have to be afraid to make mistakes. Then the next one that I'll mention is as an entrepreneur, you have to be in control and take responsibility of a success and failure of what you are starting. So as you are starting a business, you have to be ready every business comes with its own image. It's either you are successful or either you fail. So you have to be ready for any of them as an entrepreneur. Then you have to also seek opportunities. Then at this stage, it comes with you observing what is going on at the community or the place you are starting the business. You also think, then you listen to what people are saying. So it's three things: you observe, you think, and you listen. Then the last one that I'll talk about is you are the owner of the business and at the same time the employee. As an entrepreneur who is starting a business, you are the owner of the business and at the same time working as an employee. So you have to be ready to act at the same level. Then I'll move to the next slide, which is talking about steps towards starting a business. So now you're going to look at the steps towards starting a business. I think I'm on the third slide.
Is this slide or the third slide?
The third, the next one. No, the next one. The next one. The next one. Yes, thank you. So steps towards starting a business. You are coming to start a business. What are the things you need to start a business? I say, thinking of being an entrepreneur. What are the things you need? Things you need to do. Now, sometimes some people go into entrepreneurship because they think they have money. Because I have money, oh, then let me go and put it here. And mostly they'll come back and be crying that, oh, it's unfortunate, I couldn't make it. Now you have three things to look at when we are starting a business. First, I think you have to go back. Please go back.
Okay. This one?
No, back again. Back again. Yes, this one. Yes, here. No, I'm talking about the number one, the investment.
Okay, so I go back. This one?
No, next one. Yes, here. Yes. Sorry.
This one or the previous
no,
one?
No, back. Previous one.
Okay, this one.
Yes. So as an entrepreneur, as a young person going into business, you have to have these three things in mind. First, time, energy, and money. Now, mostly when you are starting a business, you don't really necessarily need money. Always when people are making presentation and they talk about that, people don't really, some of us, we don't really take it serious. We think, oh, the person is just talking because he or she is already in business. That's why he's talking like that. But I say that mostly you don't necessarily need money to start a business. You need time and energy. As an entrepreneur or a young person start a business, you don't necessarily need money to start a business. You just need two things, time and energy. Now, when we talk about time, what are we talking about? You are starting a business, you really have to have an idea of what you are going to do. Now, having the idea, what the people interested in what I'm going to do? You are thinking of the people who are interested. Now, getting the people who are interested, you have to also think about the time that you are going to give the people. Somebody starting a business with strengths, probably you will go to school in the morning and you close around 2 o'clock. Meaning, as you invest into business, you have from 2 o'clock to 6 to do your business. So that's the time for your business. Somebody starting a business who's free the whole day can start from 6 to 6 p.m. That's the time. You starting, you have to also think about the time that you are going to spend or the time that you are going to invest into your business. Second, you need the energy. Are you the one going to be distributing the goods? Are you the one going to be selling the goods? Are you the one going to be preparing whatever you are doing? So that comes with the energy. The energy in the sense that how many quantity can you produce at the same or at a given period of time? How many quantity can you produce at a given period of time? So that call for your energy. Then money. This is where this is one of the reasons why most young people are jobless today. We have the idea, we have the energy, but because you don't have the money, you end up doing nothing about our ideas. Let me give you one example before I move on. I started my business in 2019. Now, when I was starting my business, I was not having money. I was just having the idea. And I also have the time. But the time that I was having was very short, very limited time. But I still want to start that business at that period because I noticed what I want to start is in very high demand. So what I did is I went to someone who I noticed he has the money, which if I'm able to do a very good presentation or very good talks on whatever I have to do, I want to do, the person will buy into it. When I went there, after giving all my presentation, the person has the money. I don't have the money. I have the idea. I have the energy. All that I need to start my business is the money. Now, I don't have the money, but I want to do it. How can you if you don't have the money? So this becomes something that you are starting on or at a rate which you are looking at very high rates of failure. Because if the person comes tomorrow that I'm coming for my money, what are you going to do? Meaning you are going to collapse. You have to close down the business and refund the money. So it comes with building a trust in people. That's another point. You have to start building trust. You have to put yourself at a stage which people can trust you and invest their money into. I'll not waste much time. I think we have a lot to talk about. So first, you have to also think about time management, cash management, then opportunity cost of energy. These are some of the things that you have to look at. Let's move to the next one. I'll explain further when we get to the. Let's move to the next one.
Okay.
Yes. So I was talking about the risk. The example that I was giving on the person coming for the money and you have to collapse your business is falling at the risk and return. So at that stage, the risk is very high, but all the same as an entrepreneur, you have to still take the risk. Then you check out for the following results. 1, how many people have been into the same business? You are starting a new business, but that business that you are seeing to be a new business, someone has already started and the person is doing very well into it. So you are going into a competitive or a very high demand or something that is already in the system. So you have to think about how many people are into this business already. Then the next one that you think of is, what is the ratio of success to failure? What is the ratio of success to failure? Then you identify the areas of improvement. Then evaluate the possible demand and supply with the price. So number 1, how many people are into the business? You have a lot of. I started with technology. I started investing into technology because I didn't want that during the COVID time. Technology was in very high demand, so therefore I had to invest and work on getting a very sustainable technology system which people can operate at home. So at that stage, even though I am not the first person starting with technology business, people have already started. So I had to read from others. I had to make time to go read slides from others, ask questions, listen, and make sure that I have a very good report and very good concept notes which I'm going to work with, so that at the end of the day, I will not invest into something that I will run loss at the end. So I think I'm trying to find now from those who are into the business, how are they doing? And after finding out, I want to also check those who are doing what in the business. So at that stage, I'm working on what is the ratio of success to how many people are doing well in the business and how many people are failing in the business, the technology area. So you have to find out, if you see that the ratio of failure is higher than the ratio of success, then you have to really work on getting a very good document to work with, so that you also know during the failures. Then after that, you identify the areas of improvement. Now, there's a lot of technology business in the system. Some people, they are just operating on the same line that others are going, the same ratio that others are. So at the end of the day, you have the same platform of technology system, the same people are using. You have to also, as a young person coming into the system, you have to think of doing something that will be more attractive to those in the system, that will draw people to your business. So you have to think about what the areas of improvement. Then you evaluate the possible demand and supply with the price, because as you are doing well, there will be very high demand. So how best can you supply your system? Because every technology app is built on a number of people that can use it. What if your app is doing very well and people need to come on the app more? How are you going to expand it at a given period? How could you supply the system to a number of people at a time? So you have to think of that. Then you move to the next one. Now, selecting your business. So here we are going to talk about selecting your business. Number one, you have to turn your hobby, skill, interest into a profitable venture. You have to turn your hobby, your skills, your interest into a profitable venture. Now, I love technology tools. I love being around machines, being around things that are connected to the internet. And because of that, I have a lot of passion into the technology industry. Now, somebody would love to play music. Somebody loves listening to music. Someone loves singing. Therefore, you have to turn that desire of listening to music, that skill of play music, that interest of finding out more information about music into a profitable venture. So from that, you can start your own business. Someone love anywhere the person is singing, anywhere the person is playing music. At the end of the day, you sing and sing and sing, and you say, I'm looking for a job. What are you using the voice for? What are you using the voice for? What are you using that hobby, that skill, or that interest of singing? What are you using it for? We have a lot of social media platforms that you can create content. You can sing and post, and people will like. And you can create a social media, Facebook page or YouTube page, which you can post your videos there. And because you have the passion for it, you see that you will do it a way that people will really love to comment and share your content. At the end of the day, you are venturing into a business industry. So you have to identify your hobby, your skill, your interest, and turn those into a profitable venture. So when you are starting a business, think of this thing first. Don't be a person who loves reading books and you're going to be investing into, you're going to start a business and you start a business in, let me say, in farming. You love reading books, so you can go into the education industry. You can write book, because as far as you are reading, you can start thinking of getting ideas, write book, or gather people for education purpose. So there's a lot that we have to work on when you are starting a new business. Number two, identify opportunities. Now, after you getting this, you're finding out your hobby, your skill and interest, you have to identify the opportunities around it. Now, after realizing that you can go into the music industry, what are the opportunities I'm going to get if I start posting my songs, after I start posting my music on social media? What are the interests I'm going to get? What are the opportunities available? You have to find out those things. Now, then the next one is roots of recognizing opportunities. How to recognize opportunities around. So it's under the number to identify opportunities where there is existing problem. Where there's existing problem. Now, currently, I think the world, or I would say in fact, the whole earth is in a very big problem, which is we are having a financial crisis. The economy is hard everywhere. There's low employment. And as a young person starting a business, what problems the country is facing, your community, the place you are starting the business, what are the problems are they facing there? You have to identify the problem that is existing there. If your community, everybody is farming, and you are going to start a business, you are also going into farming, I don't think you make the profits as it's supposed to be, because the people love doing that already. What are you bringing new into the farming system that will make people to come to you, to come and learn or find out what you are doing? So identify the problems that are in that business that you want to start. Then the next one is where there's chance in law, where there's change in law or situations and trend. where there is change in law, situation, and trend. Now, business has its own law. We run business on different grounds. When you are going to register business, you have to go through some process of registering your business. Sometimes when you go to start your registration process, you might encounter some problems, some questions will come in which are not related to your business. Even though it's part of the law, you have to answer those questions. Then you have to also find out and know more about those questions and stuff. Then other situations and trend things that are happening around the business that you want to start. You have to know more about that. Then you move to the next one, which is invention, competition, technology, advance, and unique knowledge. Sorry. Then let's move to the next slide. Okay, yeah, we are there. Now, number 3. We are still on the steps towards starting and expanding business. How do we start business and how do we expand the business that we are starting? Now we are talking about number 3. Develop into products or service, identifying your competitive advantage. Now, when you are starting a business, you have to look at these qualities. You have to identify these qualities of your business. Number 1, the quality of the business that you are bringing on board. What is different? What are you adding to your products that make it different from things or those that are already in the system? Identify that. Number 2, price. Is your new product price higher than those that are already in the system? So to expand your business, you have to think of that. Even before you start your business, you have to think of it, and expanding your business also, you have to think of that as well. Quality, price, location, then selection into provision of what? Wider range of choice. Then services, so that can provide personalized and better customer service. Then speed and turnaround. Now let me start from the quality. I think I've touched on that already. The things that you are adding to your product that make it different or more quality than those that are already on the system. People are producing liquid soap, and you're also going to produce liquid soap. What are the things that you are adding to it to make it more attractive from those that are already in the system? Now you think about the price. If people that are already in the system are selling their liquid soap at $4, are you also going to sell your own for $4? A new business coming into the system, are you going to sell it $4? You have to think of it, because at the end of the day, you have to create a system whereby people will love to come and find out questions or ask questions about what you are doing. So I always advise people that, look, starting a business, no matter how quality your product is, as far as you are starting, you don't have to go to the market with the same price of those products that are already in the market. Especially water, which is $2. You are also producing new water, bringing it to the market, and you want to sell it to $2. People already know the taste of that others, and they love those that they are already using. What are you doing to make your own more, for them also to drink and find out that they are good? Your own also is good. So that's why you have to consider reducing the price of your products to bring customers to come and taste your products, for you to get the opportunity to enter into the market. Then you select location, the product, the services that you are supplying, who are those that are in demand of it? Who are those that are interested in getting your products? So you have to get to know that. Then you make sure that you are to those who are interested in purchasing your products. Are you getting me? Then you move to the next one, the selection or provision of wider range of choice. that I think is already is explanatory. So you move to the next one, services. So now, at this stage, can you personalize and better customer service? Now, people are buying water. You are also coming into the market with the same the same product which is already in the market. Okay, even though you have a location which you are supplying people there, if those that you are supplying, they go outside and they market your products, definitely people from outside will try to purchase your products. Are you having the system which you can supply your products out of your location? That's some of the things that you have to think of. Even most recently, I was having a program with some ladies which I was advising them on starting fast food. They want to cook and sell. Let me just go straight. They want to cook and sell. And I was telling them that, look, we are entering into a digitalized world. If you want to sell, you can be in your house and cook your food and sell to people. You get market and sell. But as you are coming, you have to also think of how to deliver your food to them when they order the food. What are the ways that you are going to deliver? How fast can you supply the product to them? The food that you are cooking, how fast can you supply those food to the people? So you have to think of that. Then when you move to the one speed, the speed is coming on the fastness of the supplyment. So when someone orders the food, someone is very hungry and he wants to buy your food on social media. The person is on Facebook. Okay, I'm living at this area. I only need the food, and you have to take you 1 hour, 2 hours before the food will get there. I don't think the person will next time order for your food again. So you have to think about the speed. How fast you supply the food is very important. So, and one of the things that I will tell you is start thinking of running business on social media, running business on your Facebook, your WhatsApp, your Instagram. You know, we are using a lot of social media platforms which we are not making use of them. Something like that. I think I'll touch on that on that at the last number 4. Identify your market. Who are your targets? Your target markets. Who are your target markets? Then the demographic. What are the range of people that are in need and the range of people that are not in need of your products? That counts with even the death rate and the birth rates. Because as a business, you are progressively in the system for some, you are going to be in the system for some time. Therefore, you have to know the number of people that will be in demand. Now, if you are supplying your food to the ages people, like the old people, how many of them are going to be consuming your products or your food for a long period of time? Then you look at those that are the young ones, how many of them will consume your food for the long time? So you have to think of that. So I always advise that, look, when you are going into business, let your target be the youth, because they will be there for long. As far as they are growing, because they've already started consuming your food at a young age, they'll continue to grow. Now, as those that are growing, they are growing. The young ones, others are coming, and they will also come and continue enjoying your food till they grow. So your food, your product will never run out of the system. Your product will be in the system forever. But if you are starting a business and your focus is on the aged people, then I think you have a question mark in your business. Then you are moved to the next one, naming your business. This is one of the key notes of starting a business. Naming your business. When you are starting a business, you don't just go about and giving any kind of name to your business. You don't just give any kind of name. Someone starting food, then you just mention some name. Look, we are in a society which everybody wants to associate themselves with good things. So when you are naming your products, give it a name that when they mention it, people should be interested and fall in love with what they are hearing. Don't mention name that someone, I want to give an example of a name. Like you are going to, yes, somebody having a fast food joint, then you say cockroach fast food joint. How many people will come and be eating cockroach fast? Nobody will come there. It sounds like, what type of dirty name is this attaching to this fast food joint? It will not help. You are starting a restaurant and you say donkey or some name. It doesn't help. So as a young person starting a business, you are going to name your business, give it a decent name. Your business to grow very fast and be in the system for long. A name that when people, you mention the name, people that are even in position, big people will love to find out what the business is about. So always make sure that you choose a name that give a good expression about what you are doing. Then you move to the next one. How do you intend to create awareness? This is another, this is the end. This awareness creation, we have the tools in our hand. We have the tools in our hand, and we can do that anywhere, anytime. So start, you design some flyers. Look, Canva is there. If you don't know, if you want to find out how to design flyers, Canva is there. Just go on Canva, they'll give you the sample. You do your this thing, take some pictures, put it, change, then you post it. So there's you have these days, we have a very easy and fast way of advertising our products on social media, even to people. You have friends, you share with them, share. And at the end of the day, your business is going far. So let's start thinking of that. And also, sometimes it's very good to consider what's the name? Commission. Because if a friend comes to you give your flyer or to your friend to share on social media, and you notice that your friend is drawing more customers to your business, don't be too stingy to say that to continue giving the flyers, which you know that your friend is drawing more customers for you, but you don't give the person any commission. At the end, the person also stop sharing it, and it will affect your business. So be more friendly and be. I want to use the word, but let's just be a way that make your way of advertising your business very easy by giving people commission. It's very good. Say, oh, if you're able to get 10 people to come and buy my products, I'll give you this number of commission. I'll give you one of the products. And you see that people start trying to bring people because they are interested in the commission, even though it's not anything, but you will see it to be like it's nothing, but they will see it to be something big. If you ask me to bring 10 people for you to come and buy water, and I bring 10 people, you give me one, am I not doing well? It's something that is good. So let's consider giving commission anytime you are running business. Then we go to the next one. Then identify basic requirements for starting and expanding a business. Or material, labor, overhead. So availability of raw materials. This we are talking about the product that you are using, the item or the materials that you are using to make your product. How fast could you get them, and how long are they going to be in the system for you to be using them? Now, mostly people start a business without thinking of these things, and when the materials that they are using to make their products, the price starts increasing, they will increase their product price anyhow, and people will stop buying their products, and the business will collapse at last. So you have to always find a product that the price can be sustainable for a given period of time. At least if you are starting a business, the price of that product should be the same way at least 2 years. Because within that 2 years, you are going to get the markets, you are going to get customers to have more love for your products, and at that time you will be able to win the hearts. So when you increase the price, they'll never feel it. But if you start a business any short period of time, then you increase the price, so that you see that it will affect your business. Some people stop buying, and gradually start doing like that, and the business will collapse. So always make sure that you get a material that the price can be sustainable for a given period of time. Then labor, those that you are using to work, make sure that you also make it a way that they feel to be part of the business. So they will, just be working today. This person will leave, another person will come. Just tomorrow, another person will leave. Then it will be like always you are changing workers. It doesn't help in business management. It doesn't help at all. If always you are changing workers, people will see you to be like, it's like there's something wrong. For instance, somebody probably might not like a certain person you are using in your business, and that could even affect the growing of your business. So let's pay attention to that. You find out, you will get a availability. You will find out a sustainable raw material. Labor should be a constant people you are using. Then the number of people that you are supplying to should also be people that you have this interest, or they should have this interest that always they will come around to get your products. Then you move to the next one, capital and requirements. So this comes with things that starts with the business, the requirements. So at first you need assets, you need cash and goodwill. So assets are the place that you are going to start the business. The cash is the money that you are going to use to buy the things. Then goodwill, the name of your business, even sells as goodwill. So if you have a very good name, people will surely come around your business. Then sorry. Then can I continue? Then I think moving to the next one, the evaluate and running costs of and different alternatives. For example, utility, salary, advertisement, interest rates and depreciation. I think these ones, they are easy to understand. Then the other way of also expanding your business and keeping your business running is what having a good record keeping, which I think my first speaker mentioned earlier, having a very good record of what things that you are selling, the cash in, the income statement, the balance sheets, the cash flow and others. Then you can also use the sell book, the purchase book, the expense book and others. Then I'll move to some of the industry that you can invest or you can consider when you are starting a new business. So the financial service, I think this is in very high demand now. Financial service, the technology, the healthcare is also very high. The real estate, education, entertainment and recreation, transportation and food. These are some of the areas that you can consider when you are going to start a business. You look at this one too. Then you go to this thing. So these are the summary says what others started their own business and they are successful today. You too, you can start it. If you start now, what are you waiting for? Don't let this crisis catch you up. Thank you for listening to my presentation, and I think the platform is open for any questions.
Thank you so very much, Samuel, for that great presentation. Noctula, where are you? So I know you have eaten some of our question time, but we still have some time. So Noctula will facilitate the question and answer sessions. Over to you, Noctula.
Thank you so much, Oliver. Of course, we do have questions. My question to you, Samuel, let me just start. Okay, let me just start by reading through the question on the chat board. I saw one message directed to Oliver.
Thank you.
Let me.
I will help you. Just look.
Okay, it's down there. Oh yes, it's a message from Peter Oliver. It's directed to you. So listen attentively. So
Okay.
he's saying, you mentioned about honey being exported in Zambia. We are Naropel honey enterprises and into bee farming, and they're into bee farming and produce supply natural honey in Kenya. Could you link us to the Zambians dealings with honey? Thank you.
Okay.
So asking about linking them up with
honey.
the Zambian.
So for any product, I'll answer this question so that others may listen as well, and those who are listening who are in different products. So we're gonna put our communication email, communication at Africa Women in Trade email on the chat. So that's the first point of contact. So they send us an email, a brief about the products and who they are via that email, and then the team will reach out to them. So I'm going to post the email address on the chat for them to reach out to us beyond this conversation. Joy just posted. So they can send us to an email. Joy just posted on the chat, and then we'll take it from there.
Thank you so much, Oliver. Samuel, a question to you. You just presented a wonderful presentation right now. You mentioned great points. So what is your own take on getting young people to be interested into entrepreneurship? Because you know that mostly our education system doesn't aspire more young people to become entrepreneurs. So how do you get young people to be interested in entrepreneurship? Samuel? Okay, while we...
Can you
You may go ahead, Samuel.
Yeah, it's muted.
Samuel?
You need to unmute. Please unmute, Samuel. Yes.
Hi.
Oh, okay. Samuel? Okay, while we're waiting
having some network issues.
Yeah, while we're waiting for Samuel to come back on board, I really want to touch base on this issue of entrepreneurship. I remember myself while I was a first year student, where I'm studying it, I had an issue with not being funded, and of course I had to find some ways of raising funds for my studies. But one of the things that I started on my first year was very exciting,
Yeah.
I noticed is we have a lot of students, that cannot draft their CVs, they can't even write the reference letters. So I use that opportunity to help those individuals, let's say creating CVs for you. You come to me, I create a CV, and I also give you advice on how to tackle job interviews, and then you pay me $50, and that's helped me almost the whole year. I was able to make at least 500 per week, so it's a matter of just starting. Whether you're starting small, but just start, just you, of course, along the journey, you will learn and you also spot more opportunity, and then you build from that, just expand what you started. But it is possible. It is like a journey that one needs to take, especially into contributing into this economy as a young person. Yes, Samuel, back to you. You may take over.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Can hear you.
Yes. Sorry. Please, the question again.
Samuel. So
yes.
So our education system, you know that the fact that is not well equipped, to produce entrepreneurship, So how do we get more young people into entrepreneurship? How do we get graduates, that are holding certificate that says, I want a job, to say no, but actually you can go out and create a job, for people? How do we get young people to be interested into entrepreneurship? Thank you.
Okay, so I would say that actually it's not easy because the education system has not given us these opportunities to really understand the entrepreneurship lessons well, and they don't really make more emphasis on the entrepreneurship. So I think these are some of the platforms which we can use to reach out to young people who are willing and ready to be an entrepreneur. You know, we have majority of young people around today, which even though they have an interest in entrepreneurship, they don't really understand what entrepreneurship is about. Most of us, we think entrepreneurship is about making money, but if you are coming into entrepreneurship, you don't really have the understanding that entrepreneurship is not about making money, but it's about finding solutions to problems that are existing in your community or your area. Then at the end of the day, you are going to start a business which you might not succeed, because if you have the mindset of making money out of entrepreneurship, then you have a question mark. Therefore, I think we have to call on most of the NGOs who are into entrepreneurship to come out and organize more programs like this to equip and educate the youth more on entrepreneurship. I think this is the only way we can go, because the education system has a lot of things that you are learning which are not really necessary, but there's nothing you can do. Africa, our system is different, and it's very difficult changing it now. Therefore, I think NGOs have to come in, the individuals who are into entrepreneurship, and also those who are also ready to support the youth, also call on to join and we educate the youth more on entrepreneurship. So this is what I can say.
Okay, thank you so much, Samuel. I see there's a message from Joy on the box. So Joy is saying, youth are the future of tomorrow. Okay, I agree. We African women in trade are finding ways to support and coming up with a program of how women and youth program. Okay, my question to you all, do you see this possible, and give an example? Let me try to understand it. Okay, so do you see, I think what Joy was asking, Oguti, do you see a possibility of, supporting the programs mostly that are run by women and youth? Okay, I don't understand the question very well.
Okay.
If it's
So
possible
just
for
ask
Joy,
Joy,
I just
we'll just
unmute
ask you
myself.
to just ask a question. Yeah.
Yes, I think Oliver knows that we have a program that we are coming up for. I couldn't type faster. Anyway, the question is, anyway, African Women in Trade are coming up with a program, as you know, for women and youth. And the whole idea is seeing how women and youth can start projects, because as you know, I don't know about you, I mean, in our old generation, the families used to work together. If it's in farming, if it's in agriculture, I used to have them, as far as I remember, my parents were there and we were in the farm helping in the activities. And now with this situation we have right now, you know that the youth are now educated. Probably you didn't go to that generation, the next generation after us. Maybe you are not involved in the farming or something like that, but you're educated, you have more knowledge, information that you can help them. And those points that Samuel mentioned, they are bookkeeping. And, the women are the ones leading in trade and in business. So you as a youth helping your parents to get organized in their businesses, to make them prosper, building them websites, going to help them in terms of creating market in the social media. That's not something for most of our parents, or they're not educated or not in that level. So this program is to help that part between the women, the Africa women in trade who are doing businesses, and the youth. So it could be your own family member or no, or even members themselves. So this is something that you're preparing in the background with the youth. So my question was, do you see this possible, and what scenario would you see yourself supporting another woman? And you also mentioned Nokutula about the way you went to the youth, you noticed that they couldn't write their job description or even just writing a CV, so because at the moment what you're seeing, the women have very good products, but they're not formal, they're all informal. You just need to prepare a profile of the product, few photos, you have your cameras, you can do that. So this is the whole idea of the program, but I wanted to hear your views, what you think about that.
So is the question earmarked for Noctula?
All of you.
From my side, I will start commenting on the last question that was posed to Samuel on, is the education supporting entrepreneurship? I would say no. So the education in Africa is not supporting entrepreneurship. We never learn about money. We're taught to hate rich people. They are bad, so never talk about money and things like that. Go look for a job. Now, everybody's asking the question, how do we create jobs? Where is jobs? So we're all looking for jobs. So we need to start, as Joy is mentioning now, coming down to what Joy is mentioning, that how do you see yourself getting involved in, because we have, for example, African Women in Europe and African Women in Trade, or any other mentors, people that have done it, that are successful, that are doing amazing things in Africa. So we can learn from them. So what we need in Africa, we need mentorship programs, and we need to work together. So the women can assist us, especially the women in the diaspora, but also the youth can assist. I did mention about my mom when I started the presentation that she used to sell in the market. And now we have, because of social media and internet of this, I think Samuel mentioned this, that we can now be able to sell beyond our local community. So we can export, we can also sell in other parts of our countries. So, but if you look at the women, they are not tech savvy. Even myself, I'm still trying to figure out how all this social media works. So I think through the program that you mentioned, Joy, I think this can be able to, help, the women, but both and the youth, because it's going to be kind of like working together, helping each other. Youth, they are more creative. Women have got products, and we can evaluate those products to industrialization and build the hashtag Africa that we want. Over to you, Noctura, sorry.
Thank you so much, Oliver. Am I supposed to also contribute?
Answer yes.
Okay, all right. Thank you. Joy is asking a very critical question. Because here I'm just realizing that, when it comes to skills development for women, what programs are there for women? How do we get more women into board, running professional businesses? I'll start by saying by mentorship. But mentorship critical from females, we have successful females, but where are they? I mean, I'll make an example. Make an example of successful women, business people that I know. Us as young people, when you talk about successful women, out there on social media, we're talking about influencers. Now you get a lot of young people, looking up to influencers. But where are Puti Mahanyelas, the CEO of Nestlé? Where are Nolita Fagude, where are they? We don't find them on this platform. They're not there sharing ideas. They're not there, pushing young people, to get into business spaces. They're out there in the corner, and I mean, you're struggling to connect with them. If you happen to connect with them, you fall under that 1% of women that get a chance to be mentored by them. It's about exposure. We want to see them up front, we want to see them encouraging us, as young people, to get more into entrepreneurship. We want them to show us that it is possible. We can start by building something, build a portfolio, and have like tangible assets that are your own. So we need to see more women in front, being an example to us, young people that are upcoming. We want to see them, we want to look at them and say, okay, it is possible, and we want mentorship from them. So say mentorship and skills, skills development, but also mentorship. Over to you, Samuel.
Okay. So please, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. So when it comes to getting this personnel on board, when it comes to trainees, skill development on entrepreneurship, now we have this problem in our community. The problem is most of the time when you bring these people on board, the youth take advantage, and they don't really make use of the opportunity, but they misuse the opportunity. For instance, I go for a lot of programs, and anytime I have the opportunity to have that with these people, some of the successful, look, we don't necessarily share our numbers with people. We have a majority of young people in the community today, they are not ready to work. They are only in for opportunities which they are not going to make use of. The way you give them the opportunity to get close to you, they'll misuse it. They'll end up messing up. So sometimes it's not them. I always say that it's not them, it's we. We have to have an agenda. We have to have a vision. Now, if I am moving, I have something in mind that, look, I want to be at this place. I want to make sure that in the next 4 years, I want to get to this place, and I'm able to get in contact with someone who is in that area. You see that I'll make sure that I use that opportunity to learn more, not for me to get material things out of the person. But you share your number with a young person today, tomorrow he or she will call you and then say, I need $5, I need this, I need this. That's not it makes people feel like it's like you are into use me or get something out, stop me. But if you call the person, look, I'm working on this document, I want to invest into this business and I need advice, the person will feel free and open up and give you the advice. And when the time comes for the person to support you financially, the person will give you that financial support. But we are in fact locking all those opportunities, bringing these people on board, because our people, they know that when they come close to you, to the young people, they end up asking, demanding, because all these people, they're also having their own problems they are facing, but we don't see it. We think, oh, because they've made it and stuff, so they have everything to offer. But look, they are also human beings just like us. They have problems they are facing. So let's rather make use of getting wisdom, getting ideas, developing ourselves in career. So when the time comes and they see that, look, when we invest money into this person, he or she will make use of it. They'll surely come on board and help. So first of all, we have to work on ourselves. That's understanding what entrepreneurship is about, understanding what business is about as a young person before getting close to these people. If you don't know that, you get close and it will surely not work again. They'll bounce you and you come back. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Samuel. I think Joy question was fully answered here. Time is running out, but I would love to give our wonderful, audience for today. I see Francina hand is up. Francina, you may go ahead and ask a question or comment.
Noctula, so Francina will be our last, that's the last question. We've
okay, all right.
Out of time. Yes, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Oliver and Nokutula. Thank you for this platform. I have two questions. My first question is on entrepreneurship and how Oliver defined what entrepreneurship is. But my question is, are we saying that based on there's a high rise of South Africans that are buying brands or rather products from China, ready-made, and we just put brands on them and then we are selling them. Are we really attending or addressing a certain problem by doing that? And is that even sustainable? And in terms of manufacturing, at what point are we going to realize that manufacturing is critical and we ought to enter into that space and obviously influence government and all the relevant stakeholders to assist us in the development of our manufacturing spaces? And my second question is on mentorship. Nokutula mentioned that we don't see, our popular leaders that have made it in the business space or in the entrepreneurship space or into the leadership career-wise. We don't see them in the forefront mentoring young people. But what I've realized is that that mentorship is actually happening in silos. And why is that the case? And what do you think needs to happen for that to change? Thank you.
Thank you. Noctula, I didn't hear the first question. I heard the second question, which is more on the mentorship. But do you want to come again on the first question? I couldn't hear properly.
Okay, my first question was that there's a lot of upcoming entrepreneurs that are importing products from China and just putting brands and selling them. And yes, it's making waves. My question is that sustainable? And you mentioned or you raised a point on manufacturing. Why are we not entering the manufacturing space? And what needs to be done for the right organizations to support us on manufacturing? Because there are great ideas that can actually be sustainable and create jobs, but it needs support in the manufacturing space. So what needs to be done to influence or to make relevant parties see that and support the youth who have ideas in manufacturing which are sustainable?
Okay, I'm not sure, but I hope I did heard your question. But if I heard your question correctly, you mentioned that, first of all, you mentioned that you get these entrepreneurs that buy products from China and repackage and sell. But if you want to do manufacturing, to get the relevant organizations to support, it's kind of like a challenge. Is that?
Yes, correct.
Okay, so first of all, I want to say that an entrepreneur who is buying and selling from China is an entrepreneur who is hustling. So as long as this entrepreneur have got, this is just for a short term, but the long-term vision is maybe to have a warehouse, a factory, and to do value addition for the African products. And then secondly is that the organizations that can support, they are there. There's quite a lot of them. So Africa Women in Trade, we've got She Trade, we've got a number of organizations. We do support as well. But the biggest challenge is that we leave the sole responsibility, our own responsibility as entrepreneurs, to government and to organizations. We've got to go and knock those doors and say, my name is Oliver, I'm doing trading, or I'm this business, I need support. So the problem that we make that sole responsibility of research to be done by the government, not us. So we need to go out there and knock those doors, and we need to network among each other. I hope you did register for the October conference, the expo, because some of these topics will be addressed, and these stakeholders that actually support entrepreneur development, whether it's mentorship or finance or trade, they will be invited. She Trade will be invited. So all these organizations will be participating at the conference. What was the same with the last question, which is more on mentorship. So we do have a mentorship program, and we also have stakeholders that we work with on the mentorship programs. I do know, Francina, that you do have our contact details, so we will definitely reach out to you outside this platform. I want to thank my team. I want to say thank you so much to Noctula. You have done us proud, as always. Thank you for your time. I know you're a student coming from assignments just to this session. Thank you, Samuel. You must just tell me what you are eating these days. That is keeping you young. If it's, I don't know if it's okra or it's igusi, I don't know that one. but I hope you send me some to South Africa. But thank you so much for your time and for inspiring other young people. My last words is that I just want to mention, I know there's quite a number of people also on the platform that are in the entrepreneurship space. Don't forget, I want to give you the last words. These last words come from our Lord Jesus Christ. It's in Luke 19, the Gospel of Luke 19, verse 13. Engage in business until I come. I also want to say thank you so much to our CEO and founder, Joy, in her absence. I know she's in the background, but thank you so much for creating a platform so that we can engage on issues that are relevant and important to build the hashtag Africa that we want. The email was posted on the chat, so please take the email, reach out to us if you want to register for the conference. If you want more support, if you have more questions, please reach out to us. You're welcome to reach out to us. You will be engaged more on the youth program that we are working on very soon. So please stay in contact with us. The website has just been posted as well. Please stay in contact with us. If you are not a member yet, please get registered today so you can be able to capitalize on the support that is available. I hope to see all of you to the conference in October, and we will be engaging. So thank you so much, everyone. And I want to wish you a blessed evening wherever you are and a blessed week further. Thank you so much. Goodbye.
Thank you, everyone. Bye. Thank you, Oliver.
Thank you. Thanks, Nokuthula. Thanks, Samuel.
Thanks, Samuel. Thank you so much, Joy, for giving us this platform. Thank you to our audience.